promote him in the bar. The bar will accept him for free because it's an act basically. So he generates and then people just get a fee.
What do you do?
So he doesn't have to do that
I
home.
work for the university.
Alright, where's Dave?
He's right there.
Oh shit, beer! Oh, hey.
Oh, sexual assault, that kind of thing.
You're doomed.
You got any more of those pads?
Get the usher in here.
There's in the closet right there.
Oh, what? That's the French way. That's the French way.
That's Dave.
What? I've been drinking since yesterday.
You've
You've been feeling it. It's like, that's not gonna do anything to me.
No, it's Fireball. It's American liquor. It's just to fuck you up real quick.
Yeah.
Pretty much. That's the only way to describe it.
When you first came
You
here
also come
and you
in
saw
moonshine.
things Americans did,
The
oh
first
my
thing I
God.
was upset about, I'm drinking of Jack Daniels. So when
I
I
think
used to buy
Jack
Jack
Daniels is
Daniels
highly
in Italy at
overrated.
the border of France, it used to be very cheap.
It's way too
For
expensive
good
for
bourbon.
what you
Oh,
get.
yeah.
When I moved here, I was like, oh,
It is-
that
it
shit
is-
got me
it's
super
really
cheap.
not
There's
very
no,
good.
I think there's a
Yeah.
revelation now. There's a
No,
lot
it's
of
more
like
expensive to buy
people
what-
making their own.
I'm
like,
like,
Well,
you're
I
not
think
making
I think
money
it might
here.
have at one point been something
Business is
really
right
good.
there. You make it
But
cheap,
now
that
it's
is
such a
more
commercial
expensive
fucking
than-
such a commercial
No.
thing that it's
We
like
probably have more
it's
like government
all about making
regulations
money
about
now. It's
alcohol.
not.
I mean, have you seen
I
the
don't know what
documentary
the
about how
thing
they
is,
make it
but
though?
it doesn't
Yeah.
make
They
sense.
kept it
that if
pretty
you
real.
get
Well,
something
you
in
realize
Tennessee,
now that where they
you sell the
make
bottle of
Jack
North
Daniels
Carolina,
is a
they
dry
get
area.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
It's a dry. They don't. You
What
can't
is
even
it?
buy Jack
But
Daniels
they
where
give
they
them-
make
they
Jack
give away
Daniels.
free
It's really
samples,
not
but you
even
pay
made
for the
in
tour.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
They probably have a plant in France also, you know. That
Probably,
just
yeah.
do the
Steve, you want me to
recipe
use
and
another one?
whatever.
No, it's cool, dude. It's cool.
So I'm like,
Alright,
oh, that's fucked up.
everyone wants to have a seat. Then we started. Give me one
Settle
second.
down now, settle down now.
Right.
It's a comedy.
Get the usher in here now.
We're like peasants of comedy.
That's where the real fun's at. I don't know about you, but
He's
peasants
not
have a
going
party.
to beer.
Yeah, no worries. Give me a refund. Where's my refund? That comedy show sucks.
Okay, I'm not gonna.
Alright,
Can I go to the bathroom
oh
beforehand?
shit.
You're-
Somebody's got to work the other light.
Ah.
Kenyon. There's a yellow. See the extension cord right there?
No, okay, yeah. What about it?
Give me 2 seconds to plug that in, okay? Not right now.
Yeah.
Give me 2 seconds to plug that in.
I would like to take picture or to film on that.
Yeah, I'm filming right now, so yeah, so
Okay.
it's coming.
No flash photography.
You need to talk to my agent first, man. I'm French, man. What's going on here?
It doesn't matter, Steven.
You're a dick.
It doesn't. It's not,
Let him
it's
get-
not they're like, who's upstairs?
Stephen.
Hey man, this is our dry rehearsal. We
We're trying
gotta,
to pretend like this is real.
You say 2 minutes, goddammit.
He does that with all of his relationships.
we can edit it out in post
Oh,
production.
we'll edit this in post, is that what we're doing?
Yeah, dude, it's all in post nowadays. Didn't you hear? That's how professionals do it.
Fuck it. Alright, thank you for being here, everybody.
Alright.
Yeah. Before we get started, let me take a second to say how wonderfully lucky we all are. Not only to be in America, where we can do this on a Sunday night, but to be in North Carolina in America, where we can do this on a Sunday night and not have the police shut the city down.
Oh.
Yeah, it was all cute in Ferguson, and then you get to an actual city like Baltimore, and they're like, oh shit, this is real, huh? Fuck. But, yeah, so just, let's all be grateful for where we are and what we got. That we can sit there and get drunk in the living room on a Sunday night. Right? The other day, I'm sitting at the computer there, and I got a knock on the door. It's like 3 in the morning. Just knock on the door, I go to the door, and there's this little dude who's about 5'6", wearing cut-off shorts, way down to his ankles. Looks like he's on drugs, I'm gonna be honest. He's got one of those oversized shirts down to his knees and shit. He's like, hey man, I live right down the hall. I locked my keys out of my house, I left them at my girlfriend's. I got a cab coming. Is there any way you can give me some money to get the cab over to my girlfriend's? And I was just like, dude, I got 37 cents on a debit card. If the cabbie will take that, it's all yours. But, he was like, alright, well, if the cab doesn't come, can you give me a ride? Yeah, sure, whatever, man. So, he leaves, and a minute and a half later, he comes back, knocks on the door again. Cab's not coming, man. That's quick, wasn't it? Can you give me a ride? And at this point, I'm faced with a decision. I can go live my life like a normal person, say no, close the door, lock it, and go to bed. Or I can go down the rabbit hole and say yes. One of those is a way better story. So I was like, all right, yeah, sure, I'll give you a ride. Where you gotta go? He's like, oh, just down the street to Durham, man. So we're driving, and we're going to Durham, get off Highway 70 and go down into this neighborhood that's like 8 blocks and set away from everything else. It's like, this looks sketchy-ish. It's like a little square, and I can see it above the hill we're coming into the one road that goes into the neighborhood. And I'm like,
Nope.
I feel like this. Is this why they call it a trap? Because there's only one way out? So we're driving through these 8 square blocks, just zigzagging. Make a left here. Make another left. Make another left. Make another left. Now make a right. It's the same block we were just on, man. White Honda passes us and he goes, hey, stop, stop, stop. That's my man. That's my man. Alright. So we stop. He gets out of the car. He goes back to the white Honda, flags them down as they're driving in the opposite direction. Going, this is getting weird. He comes back to the car. I look at him. I go, you get your keys? He goes, huh? My what? Oh! Yeah, man. I also got some chronic. You smoke chronic?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Well, I do too. But when I say chronic, what do you think, man? Weed. Right. I was like, I mean, I've been known to smoke from time to time, but, you know, I'm good. He's like, you want to smoke with me? I was like, I'm cool, man. He's like, does it bug you that I smoke? I was like, well, I mean, no, because you're an adult and you do what you do, man. That's your business. At which point, it wasn't the question I thought it was, but apparently what he meant is it cool if I smoke in your car right now? Because he pulls out what looks like, I mean, I'm thinking it's a little chillin', just a little pipe, you know what I'm saying? And he starts packing it up in the seat next to me. I'm like, what is this dude doing? Is he, okay, he's gonna smoke some weed, no problem. Takes a lighter and sparks it, and all I hear is crackle, 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 pop, 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 crackle, crackle, crackle. And it starts smelling like burnt plastic.
Oh shit.
And I was like, oh, this dude's smoking crack in my car right now. And like before, I was just, all right, I'm cool. I've got like a nightstick here, and I got a knife on me. So if he tries anything, I'll do it. But the minute he starts smoking crack, my hand goes from like here to.
10 and 2.
He looks at me and goes, "You see a cop? What? You see a cop or something, man? You sketch me out." I'm sketching you out? Is that what's going on? I'm sketching you out. Yeah, you're smoking crack in my car, but me doing 10 and 2 and trying to not get pulled over and act like you're not smoking crack here, that's sketching you out. My bad, man. Let me go back to relaxing. So as I'm driving with my hands 10 and 2, just like, fuck, don't let me get pulled over right now. I can't explain this. There's no explanation. It's 1:30. I don't know this dude. And I was like, I gave a ride from my house. Why did I do this? There's no logical reason for this. He goes, just pull into this apartment complex. That's where my girl lives. You can drop me off there. I got gas money for you. So as he's getting out of the car, he goes, yeah, here, I told you I got gas money. Pulls out $1.37 and nickels, dimes, and pennies, and is like, here you go. Get the fuck out of my car, crackhead. I didn't want to argue with him because I knew he didn't have anything else. He just bought crack. If he had anything else, he'd have more crack. Like, that's how crackheads work. He just couldn't get $1.37 rock, so that's what was left. But, like I said, that's just one of the times where you have a decision.
This is Durham.
You can live your life like a normal person, or you can see where the rabbit hole goes. I didn't die. I made it here to tell you people this fine story.
And you're $1.37 richer.
Yeah, $1.37 richer. Exactly. But no, fuck it. I was riding around with a friend of mine the other day, and he was like, hey man, if you ever get pulled over, tell the cop you're coming from your girl's house and get you out of whatever ticket you got. And I was like, that's a good idea, but with my luck, I'd get the one cop who's like, really? Really? Let me smell your fingers. That's weed. That ain't pussy, man. What you doing?
Somebody's just said,
You know what I mean? And I was like, I don't.
That's most weed.
I was like, I don't think that'll work for me, man. He's like, you know, it's whatever, man. I'm getting a job at the prison anyway. And I was like, what? like, because I never really thought of it as those are people getting jobs. You know what I mean? You just think those are the people that work in prisons. That's what they've done forever. It's just, those are prison people. No, these are actual people who are like, woke up one day and was just like, you know, my friends and family just don't provide me with enough stress and headaches. I really feel
So
like,
let me go do that.
let me go to jail, you know? Because I'm going to be honest with you guys, if there's ever a point in my life where I'm brushing my teeth, getting ready for work, and I'm just going, man, I hope nobody stabs me with a sharpened toothbrush today. I fucking quit. I'm done. Like, that's it. That's an occupational hazard for these people for like $15 an hour. Really? That's what your life is worth? $15 an hour? Yeah, they give me benefits. I mean, dude, try not getting stabbed. That's a motivation. Yeah, like, really? They match what they put in your 401k? So when you get stabbed next week, you'll have, what, $17?
More?
That's what will get you through, alright. But no, I was trying to talk some sense into him, but he was just like, you know, whatever, pothead. I was like, that's kind of offensive. I mean, I do smoke weed, but like, I wouldn't say I'm a pothead. Like, I was talking to my mom the other day, and she was like, you know, I'm really concerned about your drug use. And I was like, Mom, I smoke weed, it's not a big deal. She was like, yeah, but you don't know what they lace that with. I was like, what? I don't think you know how weed works. You don't put more expensive drugs on cheaper drugs to sell them for cheaper. That's just bad economics, man. Like, that's not how it works, right? But, like, I would never admit to her, but I'll tell y'all, I did try cocaine once for like 2 years. And I was on acid the other day, and I had this thought. I think I'm ready for kids. Like, I really want kids, you know what I mean? And it's not like because I think it'd be a good parent or anything. It's just that thanks to all the like Law and Order, SVU, criminal intent, Law and Order fucked your mom, all of that has got people convinced that all these child molesters are out to steal your kids. And that makes it impossible for me to go to the park and make friends anymore. Like, it's really hard. So I figure if I get a kid, I can just show up and be like, hi, what's your name? Billy? Hi, Billy. I'm Steve. That's my son, Timmy. He's the one hanging from the swing eating dirt. Don't worry about him. He'll be all right. You want to go to a ball game? Get in the van. For whatever reason, my wife doesn't think that's acceptable. She's like, we're not doing that. So we got this puppy. It's a compromise. We call it a compromise, right? Like, yeah.
His name is Dave.
Yeah, his name is Dave. He's awesome, and at some point tonight he'll probably get up and tear ass around everywhere, so don't be alarmed. But, we got this dog, and every time I tell somebody we got a puppy, they always want to tell me about their dog. Like, oh, we just got to rescue ourselves. He's 17 years old, he's got one eye and 3 legs. We found him at the pound. They were actually going to put him down. They had the needle in him when I was like, hey, that's my dog. So now, he just sits at home and shakes all day. The vet says he's got about 3 weeks left. But we're just going to try and make him comfortable, you know. So you bring a suffering dog into your house and that makes up for you beating your wife how? You know what I mean? Like, you're a piece of shit, dude. Don't act like you brought this dog that was almost dead home to die somewhere else. You're a dick. But, and I'm glad they haven't done this, but we had to introduce ourselves to the neighbors, because I'm white people, and that's what white people do. They're too friendly with their neighbors for no reason at all. So I introduced him to my neighbor, and I was like, yeah, we got this puppy, so if you hear him at night, don't freak out or anything. He just, you know, he's a little baby. They're like, oh, it's cool, I'm a musician. I was like, oh yeah, what do you play? He was like, I play the theremin. Anybody else know what that is?
Sorry, what?
Yeah. No.
What?
The theremin, and I had to look this up because it freaked me the fuck out. It's a little box, right, that plugs into the wall, and it's got a metal rod that you just put your hand near, and it makes like static noises. Like,
That's actually spot on.
which, that's fine. I don't mind if you play that at like 2 in the afternoon, but when it's 3 in the morning and I'm trying to sleep, that's the last fucking thing I want to hear.
You have a
from
problem.
you. It's like, you just wake up and you're like, oh my god, the aliens are here, they're coming for my ass again.
They would laugh if it was shiny.
I swear, never again. Just clenching up real tight every time you hear it at 4 in the morning for no reason. For whatever reason in my dreams, I'm just running from a giant screaming speaker, just chasing me for no reason. It's terrifying. But, yeah, other thing that happened here, because we're in the apartment complex and I can talk about it because I don't live in this building. We were right outside the other day, me and Dave, and we meet this couple with a dog who was kind of nervous to come near him, but they wanted to meet the puppy. So they were like, yeah, this is Popeye. He's a little skittish. He was attacked by a dog not long ago, but we read somewhere that if you take him off the leash, that'll help them get over it. So we're just going to take him off the leash while we pet Dave. I was like, you know what? Sounds like some hippie bullshit, but I'll buy it. So they take him off, they start petting Dave, and as we're talking, they tell me Popeye was attacked by another dog that bit onto his backside and ruptured his anal glands. And they're pretty sure he's got PTSD now. Get this straight, another dog bit your dog in the asshole and ruptured his asshole, and you think he's got PTSD.
Maybe.
No shit. What would make you say that? Because I'm going to be honest with you. If a Chinese dude popped out of nowhere and bit me in the asshole to where I had to go to the hospital because it was bleeding and shit, I'm nervous around Chinese people forever from that point on. Like don't act like that's weird and racist, because it's not. Some dude bites you in the asshole. Everybody that looks like that dude, you're just like, whoa, back against the wall here. Chinese dude, they bite assholes. I know that for a fact. Dude, that's racist. No, you ever been bitten in the asshole by a Chinese dude? I have. It's not okay.
I invited to Shiba.
Alright, I'll leave you with this and we're going to get the rest of the show started. Y'all remember the Coca-Cola campaign, Share a Coke with John, Sarah, Lynn, just every generic name you could think of, just white people name. Isn't it fucked up Leishan Tanisha's never going to have those? Like, yeah, she could have ordered it.
Jason from
Look,
Friends.
yeah, but see, Jason.
Wait, no, I don't have my.
But Leishan Tanisha
No.
never had her own. Yeah, she could have ordered it online. But you know she doesn't have the internet. Cut that shit off long ago, and her neighbors changed the Wi-Fi password. And you know the library ain't letting her back with them over here book lines. But in all fairness, her kids did fuck up that copy of the Curious George. So, right, this has been fun. I've been getting progressively more drunk. Glad you guys can come out. We having a good time?
Yeah.
You did a good job, bro.
Appreciate it. Alright, I'm going to bring up your next comedian tonight. This kid is a youngster. Yeah, we'll call him that.
No, not hit.
Barely legal. Here's your barely legal
He's
section.
got better hair than Bruno Mars and me combined.
You don't have
I know,
That's a two-sided
Believe it or not.
but ain't that a real legitimate afro like it used to happen back
Nope.
then?
Nope.
No,
Nope.
we've seen real
Nope.
hair curls.
Nope.
That's not real.
That's the best
It's
I've
not,
seen.
it's not an
And I don't
afro.
have hair.
It's not an afro. It's a Mexi
I-
bro. Give it
I-
up.
I thought- I shook his head, I was like-
I told you, right? Love your hair.
So just a poll question for you. How many family members did Steven have to kidnap for you guys to come out here? Is it just two? Two each? Alright. One to assure you, quality duct tape on all of them. Alright? And they will be returned after the show. You better fucking laugh. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. I really love doing comedy because every time I get on stage I feel like I'm being reborn. Mainly because of all the bright lights and disappointed faces. I learned something about myself today, though. I was outside walking my furry throw pillow of a dog down the street when this ferocious pit bull started running towards us. And my dog seemed to think he'd just go up and cuddle it to death. And that's when I realized, like, my 16-pound dog has more confidence than I will ever have in my entire life. Like, she's prepared to kill things 10 times her size. Meanwhile, I'm over here shaking worse than a cokehead with Parkinson's disease. That's why every time my dog barks now, instead of just saying, "Stop it, you!" I'm just gonna say, "Tell me your secret!" I don't know. You guys haven't figured it out from all the crippling angst. I'm still in high school. Probably not going to college because my GPA is a lot like Syria. It's beyond saving. Like, you can tell it's bad when your school counselor shows you your transcript like you have cancer. It's like, Kenny, come on in. We want to take a seat first. So we just got the test results back, and there's no easy way to say this, but you have a very, very severe case of apathy, some of the worst I've ever seen. It's like you weren't even there half the time. But don't lose hope. We do still have some options. We could try a very aggressive form of remedial math over the summer. But I'm just going to level with you here, man. There's an 80% chance you're going to end up working at a semi-illegal auto body shop for the rest of your life. So just get your affairs in order, call your loved ones, and tell them they probably won't have to buy furniture for your dorm anytime soon. I don't know. But just to let you guys know, you're not getting any older. Kids today just suck. And it's not because they're crazy and out of control like CNN wants you to think. Alright, it's because they all act like a bunch of rejected Walking Dead extras who are way too busy taking a low-quality picture of their face to notice they're about to walk into heavy traffic. And they're all so pretentious that they get on stage and start talking about how much other kids suck, like they're not part of that demographic. And the worst part is they're so delusional, instead of working at school so they can do something viable with their future, they go to open mics every night because telling hacky material to strangers is the only thing that keeps the darkness away. But no, kids today are different, man, because all of them are diagnosed with ADD and given enough Adderall to kill a small horse. Because if you can't pay attention to algebra for 90 minutes, apparently you have a disease. Which is ridiculous, guys, because ADD is not a disease. It's a skill. Right? Like if somebody comes towards you with some useless information, like whatever Kanye West is up to, and you're able to tune them out, retreat your mental portraits, and wonder what people look like if they have tails, like, you deserve an award, not a Ritalin prescription. Yeah, I don't know.
I'll take the Ritalin.
It's true. It's true. It's pretty good shit. But yeah, even 5-year-olds today are getting diagnosed with ADD, and I wonder what that doctor's appointment even looks like. Like, does the mom walk in like, I'm just so worried about my son Timmy. He just keeps running around in circles and laughing, and I tried to have a serious discussion with him the other day about trickle-down economics, and he just made a fart noise and started talking about rainbows. Is it too late, doctor? Is it too late? Ma'am, no, it's never too late. Right. We'll write you a prescription for some extra strength Adderall, and then I'm going to shut that little bastard right up. Get him doing his homework in no time. Oh no, kids, man. Like, kids in this country kill themselves over Facebook posts. Meanwhile, kids in other countries wake up every day like, ugh, hope I don't have to clean my neighbor's small intestines off the window again. That'd be a shame.
Real shit.
That's why I think all of our suicide hotlines need to be run exclusively by Somali children. So when you call and you're just like, oh, I just feel so alone, I think I'm going to end it all. So African kid jumps on the phone like, yeah, I felt pretty alone too, and my parents were raped and murdered in front of my eyes, but couldn't dwell on it at the time because I was running my own militia. So you know what? You do the same thing I did that day. Load up your AK, run into the jungle, and try again, buddy. Try again. While we're laying waste to people, why don't we talk about a group of people nobody ever wants to talk about? A group of people taking advantage of your ignorance from day one? Disabled people? Am I right? They're just assholes too, they're just less mobile about it. I can say this because my mom's deaf, and her favorite thing to do is sign horrible things to people's faces and just relish in the fact that they have no idea what she's saying. Like, I was introducing her to our new neighbor Emily the other day. She just comes over, takes one look at Emily, and then signs to me like, I didn't know there were like strippers moving here now. And meanwhile, Emily's just staring at me like, oh my god, a real life deaf person! Can you make eye contact with them, or do they charge when they do that? What's she saying? What's she saying? What's she saying? And then now I'm part of this evil game, right? I have to turn over there and just be like, oh, she loves your sweater. Yeah, man. I don't know. My dad came here, but he's no help because he has schizophrenia, so he mainly just hears shit that isn't there. Yeah, I know, but so my dad has schizophrenia, so every time we go out as a family, it's kind of like a rodeo, except instead of a ball, we just watch my dad try to hold on to his sanity for as long as possible before he knocks him off and he goes apeshit. It's gotten to the point where me and my mom just make a game out of it on the way to the restaurant, like 12 minutes! I give him 12 minutes until he starts accusing the waitress of being in the CIA. So that's why we go to a lot of movies. Because movies are really the perfect family activity, right? Because you can be all together, but with all that eye contact and talking, that's usually where things go wrong. So we went out as a family to go see that Stephen Hawking movie, The Theory of Everything, right? We get 30 minutes through the film, all right, with no screaming, no, like, trying to call the police on each other. And I realized, like, this is the first time in a long time that my family's been together for 30 minutes without that happening. And I started to feel this weird sensation throughout my body. I think you guys call it hope. But at that moment, my dad got up and did what he thought was the best thing to do at the time, which was to turn around and completely dump an entire bucket of popcorn on the woman behind him, like just mercilessly raining down endlessly like drone strikes over Afghanistan, covering her face in overpriced fat, and she's not doing anything to stop it. She's just standing there like a deer in headlights, because a stranger assaulting you with a bucket of popcorn is just something normal people aren't ready to deal with. And so after he's done just covering her face with fat, he runs out of the movie theater like a 747, leaving me and the rest of my family to deal with the awkward aftermath of that. Which, I'm just trying to stand there and act normal, which I suck at doing anyway, so I just end up sharing a movie theater trivia with the person next to me, like, hey, did you know Stephen Hawking actually wanted to be a painter before he got started? A little tidbit. But my grandparents are perfectly fine because they have like a black belt in denial. Like, you could set my grandmother on fire and she'd still just be like, oh, it's just a little toasty. I wouldn't use the word fire. I think it's offensive. But meanwhile, as I'm sitting there, I see my dad walk in with the movie theater usher, who's like one of those movie theaters ushers with the Bluetooth and the blazer, and she has no idea what she's about to walk into. Like, she clearly takes her job way too seriously. And as she's walking up to the scene of the crime with my dad's berating this person the whole time, like, oh, this woman's been kicking the back of my seat the whole time. And so they finally get up to the still confused, popcorn-covered woman. It just asks, like, have you been having trouble kicking someone's seat today? And the woman looked back with the most confused look I've seen on a human being. It was like a chimpanzee trying to figure out nuclear physics. But before she can even open her mouth to defend herself, my dad just chimes in like, I just want to know why! I want to know why she did it and who told her to do it! Sir, please try to keep your voice down. Names! I want names! And at that point, the entire movie theater just collectively stopped giving a fuck about Stephen Hawking. Because schizophrenia is way more entertaining than watching Lou Gehrig's disease. But yeah, the usher is now just starting to realize just how deep of a fucking rabbit hole she stepped in. And she's trying to get him and the still traumatized woman out of the movie theater to talk it out. But she doesn't realize, like, arguing with crazy people is more useless than an art degree. Alright? Because they're better at it than you. That's the truth. Like, oh, we need things like a shred of evidence, like logic, reason to win an argument. They don't need any of that shit, because they have a strong sense of belief. Alright, like their entire fragile psyche rests on the fact that all pigeons are spying machines. That's not an argument they're ready to lose. So they take him out of the movie theater, and I'm just sitting there trying to watch the rest of the movie. And that's when I realized, like, if I just wanted to see a sick man slowly deteriorate, I could have just stayed at home and saved the $8. Anyway, that's all I have to say. I'm Kenny Adamchick. You guys have a good night.
Kenyan Adamchick.
I already say you had a good afro, and people were like, oh, you should not say that.
It's not an afro, though.
It's not.
I was an afro
It's a Jufro.
at some point.
I heard. Somebody told
Are
me.
you Jewish?
I'm not
Jewish.
I'm not Jewish, no.
No, it's not Jewish. It's Mexican.
But it is.
That's what I. No, that's what I heard.
It's Mexican, dude. Imagine that. I didn't know Mexican people had afros, but Kenyan.
Hey, I think that anybody can have.
Alright, guys, we got one more for you tonight. We're gonna let you all go home. We're not gonna keep you too late. I know some of you have to leave.
I'm actually good.
Alright,
He said
give it up for this
fireball.
next guy.
I was bored at home.
I like him. I don't want to give too much away because I don't know what he's gonna tell you. So, put your hands together for Max Isaacson.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Sign my favorite.
I'm not gonna. That's just. Well, where is it? Let me sign that baby. You're a liar. You're a liar. What's up, guys? What's going on? Where are my occasional weed smokers at?
Yeah.
Behind the camera.
That's right. Good. Yeah, I smoke weed occasionally. You know, I don't do it too much. I try not to. I strive to be a one-hit wonder. You know. I think that's the best way to be. You know, just get off that one, because after like hit number 4, shit starts to get weird. So, you know, you're thinking all these thoughts. you're like, oh shit, why is everybody looking at me? And what's going on? What?
Paranoid.
Then you realize, like, all those thoughts, you're actually saying all those thoughts out loud. And, you know, everyone's all like, oh man, put your pants back on. And it's weird. You're not allowed back. You're not allowed. You're just not allowed back to that post office anymore. So, just one hit. One hit will do.
I'm good.
You know you're too high when you have to, you know, go and you get the munchies and you go to like a drive-through and you're like, let me get numbers 6 through 9 and an apple pie and a McFlurry and what? Wait, that's ridiculous. But could you actually crumble up the apple pie into the McFlurry? Could you do that? And I want to keep it light, so let me have a Diet Coke. And you're like,
so to order from the drive-thru, you actually have to be inside of the car.
yeah. I like. So just a little bit, you know. I didn't really get in trouble that much growing up, smoking pot. You know, I was always responsible about it. I actually caught my dad smoking pot when I was 16. I like walk into the garage and he's just like looking at the joint, looks back at me, all serious. He's like, "Son, I knew this day would come."
Papa did this up.
When I'd have to share with you. That's the craziest time in your life when you realize that your dad is your own drug dealer. It's like, hey, you got that kush? Depends. You finish that homework?